Hi there, a very good morning, good afternoon to all of you, depending on wherever you're watching me. This is Simply Stocks, and I'm here with another video. And this time, this video corresponds to a small cap company in the consumer domain that looks good after the correction. And also, I'm going to talk in detail about the markets because there is a lot of hue and cry about a market fall, a market crash, etc., which I feel is uncalled for. So we'll discuss about that. Let's get started. First of all, disclaimer that this is not a stock recommendation. People taking any position of any share that I talk about should that with their own due diligence and research, and I'm not in favor or against any company that I talk about. I'm not a member of the NSC and BSC, and that I'm not a portfolio advisor. Whatever discussions with respect to markets or investments I do have is purely on the basis of my experience into the market, and whatever decisions with respect to markets or investments you take, kindly take that or know that it's laden with market risk, and do consult your financial advisor before doing that. Before I talk about the company and the market, here's my request. Can you support me on Patreon? Once you do that, help me grow the channel, help you ask me questions, seek out answers in greater detail. Once you get the membership, you'll have access to my portfolio, my watch list, discussions on domestic and global economy, uh, a long-term pick from my end, discussions on different companies, sectors, etc. And whatever that is happening in the market, I discuss that, and whatever queries that you're having, I'll be more than happy to answer that. So kindly do check the link in the description and do subscribe to my channel if you like the videos. Now, in order to discuss about the markets first, let me take you to the TradingView website, and we are going to discuss about the Nifty today, and just the Nifty because I want to discuss about the fact that how Nifty has behaved over the last 10 years, 8, 10 years, and why I feel that this all this hue and cry is uncalled for, whatever that is happening, the pandemonium that is happening across the board on social media and on television about the correction, mayhem, etc. Well, basically, we have corrected 16.5% on the Nifty. If we see here, 26,000. 300, nearly 26,300 was the top. 21,900 is the current low. So currently we have corrected around 16.7% on the Nifty. Now if you go back in time, so this is a weekly chart. If you go back in time, every year we have corrected more than 10% every year, apart from only 1 year. And which was that year? That was the pre-pandemic year. Now you'll be surprised to know, but in 2017, that was the year. So if you take in the value here, in 2016, we in December we were at 8,000 or so. Let's take 8,000 as the level. So on January, in the first week of January, the closing was at 8,200, and without any major corrections, we went up all the way till January of 2018, from that those levels of 8,200 all the way to 11,100 or so, 11,100, 200. So this was a 37% Nifty move without any major correction. The only slight dip that I see here is around here. That was July, when July 17, when we made a high of 10,100, and eventually by September we made a low of 9,700. So this was just a 4-5% correction, that's it. So no major more than 10% correction. uh, a correction to my mind is more than 10%. Less than 10% is just consolidation, because if you are in this market for the last 12, 13 years, you would understand that normally a market can dip 4, 5%, 6% on any given day, and that used to happen every time. And even when I have looked at history, 25, 30 years ago, a 5, 7% dip is par for the course, probably every month, every 2, 3 months. Now, since the pandemic, what has happened is the market went down so much that the market P shrank from around 21, 22. It was around 22 right here, and it shrank to levels of around 14, 13, 14 by here. It didn't go to single digits that many people are talking about. It went to 14. Uh, b- I was meticulously calculating even that time, and that's why I gave a target of 6,200 on the Nifty around the 8,000 mark when it was falling around here in mid March. So I have no qualms in saying that, because I thought that based on the earnings that was there around 500 550 rupees, we could very well go down. I think the earnings was around 600 rupees. We could very well go down to levels of 10 times 11 times earnings, but we stopped at around 13 times or so, just about 13 times. So 13 14 times, that's where we stopped. So such capitulation warranted a huge move, and so the correction was shallow. Corrections were shallow from 2021, even in that. So 17, I have told you that there was no correction. That is the only year when there was no correction. Even in 2021, when we had this massive rally. So if we look at 2021, uh, from and I am taking point to point January to December calendar years, so that you'll understand that every calendar year we have had decent correction. So in 2020 December, right here, we were around say 14,000 levels, 14,300 on 4th of January. From 14,300, just in the start on in February, we made a high of around 15,000 to 15,400. Then we dipped all the way to 14,000 levels, 14,100, and that's a correction of around 10%. Then we had a rally, so 10% correction already in 21 once. And then if you see here, in December of sorry, in October, I think. So let me just take you from here. So this is October of 2021. October 2021, we made a high of 18,600, and then we suddenly fell. By December 20th, we were at 16,400. So if you take 18,600, and if you take the low of 16,400, then you will come to understand that the correction was around 12%. So already 12%, we have corrected 17%. So how much is the difference? It's just about 5% more that we have corrected this time around. We corrected 12% that time. Mid and small caps selectively were doing well, so we didn't feel this correction, but we corrected 12% from October to December. Yes, that correction continued in 2022, but I'm not taking that in, because if you are talking calendar years 21, 17, 18, 19, we have had such corrections. So let's take 12%. Later on we had another rally. So in April 22, we made a high of around 18,100, but by June of 22 again, so this is I'm sorry, so this is the 2022 correction from around 18,100 all the way to 15,100. That's a 2,900 point correction on the Nifty. That's a 16% correction. Exactly what is happening today. But at that point of time, there were talks that, okay, we made a top and we have made so much money over the last 1.5, 2 years. There had to be a correction. Then we had another rally. So 2022, we had this correction till June. We had a rally. We had our rally till around November of 22. So this is 22 gone. By here on 2nd of Jan, we made a closing at 17,800. I'm rounding off the figures. I'm rounding off the figures. And so 17,800 was the closing price in January of 23, and then you see the correction. We were in an ongoing correction, but in January also, in 2023 also, we corrected 17,800, eventually became by March something like 16,800 or so, and then we moved ahead in 2023. So not a major correction in Jan or Feb, because we were correcting earlier, and we went further ahead, and we got to 2024. So 10 to 12%, 16% correction is par for the course. And if you go back pre-pandemic, if you go beyond 2017, if you go to say say in that period before 2017, so let me take you there, because 2017 was a huge year. So this is 2016. Okay, so let me take you back all the way to 2014 and you'll understand what sort of corrections I'm talking about. So this is 2012. This is just when I started getting into the market, 2011, October, November, extremely, you can say, a dull years for the market. Now in 2012, 2011 December, we were again in the midst of a correction. We corrected to 4600 or so. So in January, we were at around 4750. We had a rally in January and February. There was the metals rally and commodity rally, a little bit of a couple of months of rally. And we made a high of 5600. Then we corrected again by April, May 2012. Sorry, in 2012, by say May, we were back to around 4800. So from 5600 we were back to 4800. How much is the correction there? The correction is about 14%, easily 14% in there. Then we had a rally. We had a rally up till you would say January 13. So in 2013 again, this is the protracted long corrections just before the 2014 elections. We went to 6100 on the Nifty, and then by around April or so, we fell back to 5400 again. The correction was around 10-11%. We went up again. We went to around 6220, 62, yes, 6220 or so, and from 6220 we again corrected all the way to 5100. So this is around 1100 point correction from 6200. Again a 17-18% correction in 2013. Then we had this rally in 2014, which people talk about, the rally of Mr. Narendra Modi when he came back into the par into par, and this continued even in that phase. We had corrections. I just want to show that to you. So this just continued all the way till December. So 2014 was another year that from around January of 2014, when the market was around say 6100 or so, the market went all the way till around September, and moved on. So I think around September or so we made a high of around 8100, and we corrected again to 7700 level. So not a major correction, and we went into 2015 in a big booming market of 15 months of rally. We made a top at 9100, and we corrected in that China real estate crash. For 1 year we corrected and we made a low of around 6800. So again the correction here was pretty big. 9100 became 6800, and the correction was all the way of around 25%. This was a 25% correction in a year in 2016. So what I am trying to tell you is, normally we have had corrections. 2014 and 2017 have been 2 years in which Nifty has not corrected 10% or more. It corrected only 4-5%. And so we did correct in 2023, we did correct in 2021, and so on and so forth. So we have corrected even after the pandemic. It's not that we have had a one way rally. We have corrected more than 10% during the Ukraine crisis and things that have taken place. So uh, get ready for probably some more pain. If you look at the markets per se, 22,000 now becomes sacrosanct 22,060. But if you ask me, there is a chance for the Nifty to go down to 21,500 once this rally dissipates. But overall, I'm pretty bullish on the market from a 2 year perspective. I still believe that there is a chance for Nifty to reach 34,000 by 2027 July. So in the next 2.5 years, we should see 34,000 levels on the Nifty. That is a pretty big upside from here. That is a 50 to 55% upside on the Nifty itself. That's what I feel. Another huge rally is in a place for us, the way the markets have slam dunk over a period. Look at the RSI, look at everything. And this is on a weekly basis, how things have capitulated from a 75 RSI all the way to around 30, 32. So things could move better from here on in, probably couple of months of more pain. and things should look up. Now let me take you to the screener website, and the stock I want to discuss with you is Ganesha Ecosphere, a very interesting 3,500 crore market cap company that has corrected from the top 2,500. Nearly 2,500 was the high of the company, and currently the stock is trading at around 1360, 1370. The stock is trading at a PE of 34. What does the company do? It is a leading PET waste recycling company in India and is engaged in the manufacturing of recycled polyester staple fiber. And basically, they recycle all kinds of products from plastic materials to textile, etc., and send it to the industry. Largest PET bottle recycling company, and so they recycle all sorts of bottles from you can say water bottles to cold drink, soft drink bottles, etc. So it is the largest PET bottle recycling company in India, contributing recycling over 16 to 18% of India's PET bottles. In terms of their product portfolio, the company manufacture recycled polyester staple fibers, dyed yarn, etc. Many other products that they do produce. Domestic is 91% of their business, and export is around 9%, which is good that currently with the skirmishes in US and in other parts of continents, in other continents, especially with the kind of economic environment we are seeing globally, and tariffs and taxes being imposed, it's better to look at companies which are primarily doing their business here in India. In terms of customer base, the company serves over 400 customers in the domestic and international markets. Customer segments as of FY24 include spinning, which is 65%, technical non-woven segment is 25%, stuffing segment is 10%, and the top five customers account for less than 20% of the overall revenue, which is good that they have a wide range of customer base that they cater to. In terms of numbers and the valuation, now trading at around 34, 35 times looks decent. If you look at it on a PE basis, it was trading at 90, 100 times in the heydays when the market was doing extremely well. October 24, it was trading at around 80, it was at 94 times. 94 times has become 34 times at the moment. That is how the valuation has now dived down. And if you look at from a 5 year perspective, the average is around 26, 27 times. So coming very close to those levels. The low was around 32. So around 32, 33 times, if it comes to another 10% decline from here, would be very interesting to look at. The company at 1250, 1200 levels would be a very interesting price levels to look at the company, because the numbers are pretty decent. So if you look at in the December quarter, what they did was 398 crores of sales versus 285 crores. Operating profit from 40 crores has jumped to 57 crores. Margins have remained stable at 14%. So what has happened is that there has been sales growth. How much has been the sales growth? Let me just calculate that for you. So the sales growth has been around 40%. The profit growth has been just over 40%. And the net profit from 13 crores has gone to 30 crores. Or you can say the profit before tax, because taxes were less this time around. Profit before tax has doubled from around 19 crores to 37 crores. Very strong numbers altogether. And if you look at from the shareholding pattern as well, 35 36% is with the promoters. The FIIs have increased holding here, which is interesting. From around 9 10% a year back, it has gone up to 12%. DII holding has remained stable at around 22%, and public shareholding is around 30%. In that 30%, there is large investors invested in the company. So around 6% is the public shareholding that is with the large investors. So overall, very interesting company to look at from a 4 5 year perspective. Valuations have become reasonable now, from around 90 PE to around 34 35 PE, growing at around 40%. Looks very interesting, Ganesha Ecosphere. So this was a video on the company as well as the markets. Please like and subscribe my channel, hit the bell icon so you can get my videos straight away when I post, and kindly support me on Patreon. Thanks a lot for watching.